The fascinating world of bioart, where science and art meet. The field of bioart brings together two seemingly disparate worlds, science and art. It is a genre of art that explores biological systems, processes, and materials. In the last decade, bioart has become increasingly popular as it provides a new perspective on the interconnectedness of living organisms. This article delves into the fascinating world of bioart, where scientific discoveries are transformed into works of art. Bioart is a relatively new field of art, and its roots can be traced back to the late 1980s. Bioartists use living organisms, tissues, cells, and other biological materials to create artworks that challenge traditional notions of what constitutes art. The aim of bioart is to create thought-provoking and often controversial art that explores the relationship between different forms of life. One of the most famous bioartists is Eduardo Koch, who is known for his work with genetically modified animals. Koch's GFP Bunny project involved creating a rabbit that glows in the dark using genetic engineering. This project sparked widespread controversy and initiated a debate about the ethics of genetic modification. Another notable bioartist is Patricia Piccinini, whose work often features genetically modified human-animal hybrids. Her sculptures and installations explore the relationship between humans and animals, questioning the boundaries between the two. Bioart is not limited to sculptures and installations, it also includes performances, video art, and interactive installations. The key to bioart is the use of biological materials and the way in which they are transformed or manipulated. For example, Anna Dumitriou's Mythical Beasts project involved creating a coat out of bacteria that produces a pigment that changes color in response to temperature. The coat was part of an interactive installation where visitors could view and interact with a living bacteria. The use of living organisms as an artistic medium adds a new dimension to traditional forms of art. In bioart, the artwork is not static, but rather a dynamic process that evolves and changes over time. This is evident in the works of Philip Ross, who creates sculptures using living mushroom mycelium. Ross's sculptures grow and evolve over time and are often incorporated into the natural environment. Bioart also has practical applications beyond the realm of art. For example, scientists are using living organisms to create materials and products that are environmentally sustainable. In 2014, scientists at Stanford University created a new type of battery using bacteria. The battery uses the bacteria's ability to produce electricity to create a sustainable energy source. The implications of bioart extend beyond the world of science and art. Bioart raises fundamental questions about the relationship between humans and nature, the ethics of genetic engineering, and the potential for biotechnology to shape the future of our planet. Perhaps the most significant question raised by bioart is whether it is ethical to use living organisms for artistic purposes. Bioart is a controversial field that challenges traditional notions of what constitutes art and science. It is a genre of art that explores the boundaries between different forms of life, and the possibilities that arise when those boundaries are crossed. Bioart encourages us to question the role of science in society and the role of art in shaping our understanding of the world around us. Despite the controversies surrounding bioart, its popularity continues to grow. Museums, galleries, and art fairs across the world are featuring works of bioart, attracting interest from scientists, artists, and the general public alike. The intersection of art and science has opened up new vistas of creativity and innovation that are sure to inspire future generations of artists and scientists. Bioart is not just an emerging genre of art, but a doorway towards the exploration of various spiritual, philosophical, and ethical concepts. Art has the power to shape public opinion, and bioart is no exception. Bioart is not just the creation of artistic works. It is a socio-political process that raises ethical and philosophical questions about the impact of biotechnological advances on humanity. It prompts public and private stakeholders to consider the risks and benefits of using synthetic biological tools and living systems. The boundaries between art and science have always been blurred, and bioart is the epitome of this amalgamation. It has given a new meaning to the term, living art. Bioart has also encouraged the convergence of numerous fields like synthetic biology, biotechnology, bioethics, and environmental studies. It has paved the way for deeper interdisciplinary research that can unmask some of the world's most pressing biodiversity and conservation challenges. Bioart creates a space for new connections, new mutations, and new hybridities between humans, animals, and the environment. Bioart, much like many scientific disciplines, has its limitations and issues. Some argue that the mass manipulation of life by humans is unethical and against the natural order of ecosystems. However, the proponents of bioart argue that art serves as a valid reason for creating new living systems, because it is not limited by ethics nor the laws of nature. Bioart is a reflection of our society's ongoing love affair with living systems, from virtual pets to genetic engineering. As humanity continues to progress, all eyes are on the biosphere and its potential for the future of art, science, and human life. The future of bioart is exciting and promising. As biotechnology advances, so too does the potential for amazing new forms of bioart that blur even further the lines between art and science. Bioartists will be able to take advantage of technologies like CRISPR/Cas9 gene editing to create even more intricate and thought-provoking works of art. Furthermore, bioart may have the potential to bring about social change. For example, artists are using bioart to raise awareness about environmental issues and to promote sustainable living. In addition, bioart can be used as a tool for education. By creating works of art that incorporate scientific concepts, bioartists can make science more accessible and engaging for people of all ages. Bioart can be used to teach not only scientific facts but also to inspire people to think about the ethical and moral implications of biotechnology. As bioart gains popularity, it is likely that we will see a growing number of collaborations between artists, scientists, and biotechnologists. These collaborations will bring about new ideas, new techniques, and new ways of looking at the world. Bioart is a genre that reflects the world's increasing interest in the sciences, especially in the age of digital production. Bioartists, however, add living organisms, tissues, and cells to give their art a lifelike quality that can't be matched by digital simulations. As technology advances, bioart has the potential to expand into areas that we cannot even imagine. For example, bioart has the potential to revolutionize medicine by using living organisms to create medicines tailored to individual patients. By using a patient's unique DNA, scientists could create medicine that specifically targets the molecular pathways that cause disease in that person. Bioart can also challenge our traditional understanding of the environment and our relationship to it. In addition, bioart can offer new insights into the complexity and interconnectedness of living organisms. By using living organisms to create art, bioartists are creating works that are a reflection of the complexity of life itself. Neurobiology, an introduction to nerve cells and the brain. Neurobiology is the study of nervous systems, including the brain and the complex network of nerve cells that make up the nervous system. The brain is the most complicated body organ, and it contains over 100 billion nerve cells called neurons. These neurons are responsible for transmitting and processing information, which enables us to learn, think, move, and communicate. Nerve cells possess a unique structure that enables them to transmit electrical and chemical signals. They contain a nucleus, which houses the cell's genetic material, and a branching network of dendrites that receive information from other nerve cells. The dendrites connect to the cell body, which contains the cell's metabolic machinery. From the cell body, a long, slender cable called an axon extends out to neighboring cells. Along the length of the axon are tiny vesicles containing chemicals called neurotransmitters. Neurons are specialized cells that have the ability to communicate with other cells via neurotransmitters. When a neuron receives a signal from another nerve cell, it can either excite or inhibit the activity of the receiving cell. Excitatory signals cause the receiving neuron to become more active and more likely to transmit a signal of its own. Inhibitory signals, on the other hand, cause the neuron to become less active and less likely to transmit a signal. The role of neurotransmitters in the brain is critical and complex. There are over 100 different neurotransmitters, each with its own specific function in the nervous system. Some neurotransmitters, such as dopamine and serotonin, are associated with mood and emotion regulation. Others, such as acetylcholine and glutamate, are key players in learning and memory. Neurons interact with one another through a process called synapses. Synapses are the points where neurons meet, and they consist of two parts: the presynaptic terminal of the sending neuron and the postsynaptic terminal of the receiving neuron. When an action potential reaches the presynaptic terminal, it triggers the release of neurotransmitters into the synapse. These neurotransmitters then bind to receptors on the postsynaptic terminal of the receiving neuron, which causes the neuron to either become more or less excited. The brain is divided into three main sections: the hindbrain, the midbrain, and the forebrain. The hindbrain is responsible for basic survival functions such as breathing, heart rate, and reflexes. The midbrain is the relay center for sensory information and contains structures involved in movement, orientation, and reward. The forebrain is the largest and most complex part of the brain, responsible for higher cognitive functions such as thinking, problem-solving, and emotion regulation. Within the forebrain is the cerebral cortex, which is responsible for cognitive processes such as perception, consciousness, and decision-making. The cortex is divided into four main lobes: the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe. Each lobe is associated with different functions. For example, the frontal lobe is responsible for executive functions such as planning and decision-making, while the temporal lobe is responsible for auditory processing and memory. The sense of touch, or somatosensation, is processed in a strip of the cerebral cortex called the somatosensory cortex. Different regions of the body are represented in different areas of the somatosensory cortex, with the amount of cortical space devoted to a body part reflecting the sensitivity of that part. For example, the fingers have a larger cortical representation than the torso because they are more sensitive to touch. The sense of vision is processed in the occipital lobe at the back of the brain. The occipital lobe contains a map of the visual world, with different regions of the cortex processing different aspects of vision such as color, motion, and object recognition. The sense of hearing is processed in the temporal lobe. The primary auditory cortex is the first region of the brain to receive auditory information and is responsible for processing the basic features of sound such as frequency and duration. The sense of smell, or olfaction, is unique in that it bypasses the thalamus and goes directly to the olfactory bulb, a region located at the base of the brain. The olfactory bulb is responsible for processing and integrating incoming sensory information from the nose before sending it to other regions of the brain for further processing. In addition to processing sensory information, the brain is also responsible for producing movement. The motor cortex, located in the frontal lobe, is responsible for initiating and controlling movement. It is organized such that each region of the motor cortex controls a specific region of the body. The brain is an incredibly complex and important organ. Studying its structure and function is essential for understanding the nervous system and developing treatments for various neurological and psychiatric disorders. Neurobiology research has come a long way in recent years, and is continually advancing our understanding of the brain and the mechanisms that underlie behavior and cognition. However, there are still many unanswered questions and mysteries surrounding the brain and how it works. For example, the phenomenon of consciousness, or subjective experience, is still not fully understood. It is not clear why and how the physical processes in the brain give rise to our rich and vivid inner lives. Furthermore, there are many neurological and psychiatric disorders that are still poorly understood and have no effective treatments. For example, Alzheimer's disease, a devastating form of dementia, affects millions of people worldwide, and currently, there is no cure or effective treatment available. Similarly, major depressive disorder, a common mental illness, affects millions of people and is associated with significant morbidity and mortality, yet its underlying mechanisms are ineffective. Treatments remain elusive. Neurobiology research is also facing many challenges, such as funding constraints, ethical concerns, and the difficulty of translating research findings into effective clinical therapies. However, despite these challenges, neurobiology research is essential for improving our understanding of the brain and developing effective treatments for neurological and psychiatric disorders. In recent years, there have been many advances in neurobiology research, such as the development of new imaging techniques that allow us to study the brain in ever greater detail. For example, functional magnetic resonance imaging (FMRI) can measure changes in blood flow in the brain, which can provide insights into brain activity during various tasks or states. Similarly, electroencephalography (EEG) can measure electrical activity in the brain and is useful for studying brain rhythms and connectivity. Another important advance in neurobiology research is the development of optogenetics, a technique that allows researchers to selectively manipulate the activity of neurons using light. This technique has revolutionized the field as it provides a way to precisely control and study neural activity with unprecedented precision and specificity. In addition to treating neurological and psychiatric disorders, neurobiology research also has implications for enhancing human performance and cognition. For example, recent studies have investigated the use of non-invasive brain stimulation techniques such as transcranial magnetic stimulation (TMS) and transcranial direct current stimulation (TDCS) to enhance cognitive performance in healthy individuals. These techniques have shown promising results in improving memory, attention, and other cognitive functions. There is also growing interest in the field of neuroethics, which explores the ethical, legal, and social implications of neurobiology research and its applications. This field addresses issues such as privacy, autonomy, and justice in the context of advances in neuroimaging, brain stimulation, and other neurotechnologies. Neuroethics is particularly relevant in the context of emerging technologies such as brain-computer interfaces, which may have far-reaching implications for human identity and agency. Neurobiology research is a truly interdisciplinary field, drawing on knowledge and methods from biology, chemistry, physics, psychology, and other disciplines. It is also a collaborative field, involving researchers from different institutions and countries working together to address complex questions and problems. Developmental biology, from fertilization to birth. Developmental biology is the study of the processes that transform a single cell, the fertilized egg, into a complex organism such as a human being. The field has come a long way since its early days in the 19th century, when Darwin's theory of evolution shook the scientific world and sparked interest in the natural history of organisms. Since then, the development of cellular and molecular biology, genetics and biochemistry has allowed us to piece together the intricate mechanisms behind life's most awe-inspiring miracle birth. Fertilization. Fertilization is the initial event in which a female egg and male sperm unite to form a zygote, the first cell of a new individual. The egg is usually released from the ovary into the woman's fallopian tube, where it is fertilized by sperm that have swam up from the vagina. Only one sperm is able to penetrate the egg's protective layers and enter it, as a result of a process called the acrosome reaction. Once inside the egg, the sperm's genetic material fuses with the eggs, creating an embryo with a complete set of chromosomes. Cleavage. The zygote quickly divides into a cluster of cells, a process called cleavage. These cells are called blastomeres and their division is rapid, but not accompanied by growth in size of the embryo itself. Over the course of days, the embryo proceeds through several stages of cleavage during which it becomes a hollow ball of cells called the blastula. Gastrulation. During gastrulation, the cells of the blastula will rearrange themselves to form the three germ cell layers, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. These layers are responsible for giving rise to the entire body of the organism, including internal organs, limbs, skin, and nervous system. Cells from the ectoderm layer give rise to the skin, hair, nails, teeth, and nervous system, including the brain and spinal cord. The mesoderm layer gives rise to muscle cells, blood cells, bone cells, heart cells, kidney cells, and reproductive cells. The endoderm layer gives rise to the internal organs such as liver, pancreas, intestines, and lungs. Neurulation. During neurulation, a complex process that occurs during the third week of embryonic development, the ectoderm layer develops into two specialized parts, the neural tube and the neural crest. The neural tube gives rise to the brain and spinal cord, whilst the neural crest gives rise to a variety of cells, including the peripheral nervous system, skin pigment cells, and part of the teeth. Organogenesis. After neurulation, the well-defined structures of the head and trunk regions begin to develop. The heart also starts to beat, and the formation of various organs begins during a stage called organogenesis. By the end of organogenesis, formed organs include the heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, and the gut. The fetus is now able to move on its own and can be felt by the mother as she moves. Maturation. Following the completion of organogenesis, the developing fetus undergoes further maturation. Growth and accumulation of fat occur, which leads to an increase in body size and mass. Bones and cartilage ossify or harden, and the fetus becomes more rigid. The brain develops memory, in addition to learning and comprehension skills, whilst the eye acquires the ability to focus light and to perceive color. Birth. After 9 months of growth inside the uterus, the fetus is complete and ready for birth. The process of labor refers to the series of events that lead to the delivery of the baby from the uterus. It occurs in 3 stages. The first stage involves uterine contractions which thin the cervix, the passageway between the uterus and the vagina. This allows the baby's head to move through the cervix and into the vagina. In the second stage, the mother actively pushes the baby through the birth canal. In the final stage, the placenta is delivered. This sac-like organ provided nutrients and oxygen to the developing fetus. Additionally, developmental biology plays a crucial role in scientific research and advancements in healthcare. By understanding the intricacies of the development process, scientists can better study and treat conditions that arise during development or at birth, such as birth defects and genetic disorders. The study of stem cells, which have the potential to develop into any type of cell in the body, has opened up new avenues for regenerative medicine and the potential for treating a wide range of diseases and conditions. Whether it's understanding the development of animals, plants, or even organisms at the molecular level, the study of developmental biology is a critical component of biological research. As we learn more about the mechanisms behind development, we can continue to make strides in our understanding of genetics, heredity, and evolution. By exploring the complexities of organisms in their earliest stages of life, we gain a greater appreciation for the marvels of the natural world and the mysteries that still await discovery. As our understanding of developmental biology deepens, we also gain greater insights into the unique challenges that arise at different stages of life. Studies of aging and disease, for example, are closely linked to the way that cells and tissues develop and change over time. This knowledge can help us identify early warning signs for a range of disorders, from Alzheimer's to cancer, and could ultimately lead to more effective treatments and interventions. Looking ahead, it's clear that the study of developmental biology will continue to play a critical role in shaping our understanding of the world around us. As new tools and technologies become available, researchers will be able to explore the mechanisms of development at increasingly nuanced levels, and begin to unravel some of the most fundamental mysteries of life itself. From the initial spark of fertilization to the complex processes of organogenesis and maturation, the development of a living organism is a wonder of nature. With the help of modern science and technology, we are beginning to unlock the secrets behind this incredible process and apply these insights to issues ranging from human illness to biological conservation and animal husbandry. By continuing to explore the intricacies of developmental biology, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the beauty of life and work towards a healthier and more sustainable future for all living things. As we look to the future, there are many exciting advancements on the horizon for the field of developmental biology. Research into the potential uses of stem cells, for example, has the potential to revolutionize medicine and transform the way we treat a wide range of diseases and conditions. Scientists are also exploring the ways in which environmental factors can impact development, from air pollution to dietary changes, and working to identify ways to mitigate these effects and ensure healthy outcomes for all. At the same time, ongoing research into the genetics of development is opening up new avenues for understanding the mechanisms behind everything from prenatal growth to aging and disease. By studying genetic mutations and variations, we can begin to identify the underlying causes of a wide range of disorders and develop targeted treatments that are more effective and less invasive than traditional approaches. Ultimately, the study of developmental biology offers us a window into some of the most fundamental mysteries of life. It reminds us of the incredible power of nature to create and sustain complex living organisms, and of the delicate balance that exists between genetics, environment, and chance. As we continue to explore these mysteries and uncover new insights into the workings of the natural world, we can look forward to a future where we understand more about the complex processes that shape our lives and the world around us. Developmental biology is a field that offers endless possibilities for exploration and discovery. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of life's most awe-inspiring miracle birth, we are empowered to take actions that can impact not only our own health, but the health and well-being of all. A closer look at organelles, mitochondria, chloroplasts, and more. Organelles are the specialized subunits that make up the cells of living organisms. These structures carry out specific functions within the cell, such as energy production, waste management, protein synthesis, and cell division. There are several organelles found in eukaryotic cells, including mitochondria, chloroplasts, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, and Golgi apparatus. In this article, we will take a closer look at two of the most important organelles, mitochondria and chloroplasts, and explore some of their functions in more detail. Mitochondria. Mitochondria are often referred to as the powerhouse of the cell, since they are responsible for generating energy through a process known as cellular respiration. They are found in all eukaryotic cells, from the smallest unicellular organisms to the largest animals and plants. Mitochondria produce ATP, adenosine triphosphate, a molecule that stores energy that can be used by the cell. The structure of a mitochondrion consists of an inner and outer membrane, as well as a matrix and intermembrane space. The outer membrane is porous and allows small molecules to enter and exit the mitochondrion, while the inner membrane is tightly folded to form cristae. The cristae increase the surface area of the inner membrane, which allows for more efficient energy production. The matrix is the space inside the inner membrane and contains enzymes and proteins necessary for the citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle, which generates ATP. Aside from energy production, mitochondria also play a role in apoptosis, or programmed cell death. They release cytochrome C, a protein that triggers a cascade of events leading to cell death. Mitochondria also play a role in calcium signaling, lipid metabolism, and heat production in certain cells, such as brown adipose tissue. Chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are organelles found in plant cells and some protists that carry out photosynthesis, the process by which sunlight is converted into chemical energy in the form of glucose. Chloroplasts contain a green pigment called chlorophyll, which absorbs light energy and converts it into chemical energy. In addition to chlorophyll, chloroplasts also contain other pigments, such as carotenoids and phycobilins, which help to capture additional wavelengths of light. The structure of a chloroplast is similar to that of a mitochondrion, with an inner and outer membrane, thylakoid membranes, and a stroma. Thylakoid membranes form stacks known as grana, which contain clusters of pigment molecules and other proteins necessary for photosynthesis. The stroma is the fluid-filled space between the thylakoid membranes and contains enzymes and proteins involved in the synthesis of glucose. Aside from photosynthesis, chloroplasts also play a role in plant development and defense. They are involved in the production of hormones and secondary metabolites, such as flavonoids, which are important for the color and flavor of fruits and vegetables. Chloroplasts also produce reactive oxygen species, ROS, which can act as signaling molecules or as a defense mechanism against pathogens. Other organelles. While mitochondria and chloroplasts are widely considered the most important organelles due to their roles in energy production, there are several other organelles that are essential for a cell's survival and function. The endoplasmic reticulum, is a network of membranes that is involved in protein synthesis, lipid metabolism, and detoxification. The rough is studded with ribosomes and is responsible for the production of proteins that are destined for secretion or incorporation into the cell membrane. The smooth which lacks ribosomes, is involved in the synthesis of lipids and steroids, as well as the detoxification of drugs and other toxic substances. The Golgi apparatus is a stack of membranes that is responsible for sorting, modifying, and packaging proteins and lipids that are synthesized in the The Golgi apparatus also plays a role in the secretion of substances, such as enzymes and hormones, into the extracellular environment. Lysosomes are membrane-bound organelles that contain digestive enzymes and are involved in the breakdown of macromolecules, such as proteins, nucleic acids, and carbohydrates. Lysosomes also play a role in the recycling of cellular components through a process known as autophagy, in which damaged or unused cellular material is broken down and recycled for future use. New techniques and discoveries are continually increasing our understanding of organelles and their functions. For example, researchers have recently discovered that mitochondria can also communicate with other organelles, such as the to regulate calcium levels and maintain cellular homeostasis. Additionally, advances in microscopy and imaging have allowed us to observe organelles in greater detail, such as seeing the movement of molecular motors transporting materials along. Microtubules in the cytoplasm. Understanding the function and behavior of organelles is not only important for understanding how cells work, but also for developing treatments and therapies for various diseases. For example, abnormalities in mitochondria have been linked to a range of diseases, such as Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. By learning more about how mitochondria function and interact with other organelles, researchers may be able to develop new treatments for these conditions. Moreover, the study of organelles can also provide insights into the evolution of life on Earth and the origins of eukaryotic cells. Many scientists believe that mitochondria and chloroplasts were originally free-living organisms that were engulfed by primitive eukaryotic cells through a process called endosymbiosis. Over time, these organisms evolved a symbiotic relationship with their hosts, eventually becoming the specialized organelles we see today. Furthermore, organelles can also be modified and manipulated for use in biotechnology and other applications. For example, researchers have developed techniques for modifying chloroplasts to produce vaccines and therapeutic proteins, which can be harvested from plants for use in medicine. Similarly, mitochondria can be used as a drug delivery system, since they are capable of entering cells and delivering their cargo. In addition, the study of organelles has also shed light on the diversity of life on Earth. For instance, some organisms have evolved specialized organelles that allow them to survive in extreme environments, such as acidophilic bacteria that have adapted to acidic conditions by developing acid-resistant membranes and specialized proton pumps. Furthermore, the discovery of new organelles has challenged our understanding of cellular biology. In recent years, scientists have identified several novel organelles, such as nucleoli, which play a critical role in ribosome assembly, and membraneless organelles, which lack a membrane boundary, but still organize and compartmentalize cellular components. As our technological and scientific capabilities continue to grow, new discoveries about organelles and their functions are being made at an exciting rate. With each new breakthrough, we gain a better understanding of cellular biology and the complexities of life on Earth. The study of organelles represents a critical area of research that has the potential to transform many aspects of our world, from healthcare and biotechnology to environmental and evolutionary science. Looking ahead, it is clear that organelles will continue to play a fundamental role in shaping our understanding of the natural world and our ability to harness its resources for the benefit of. An overview of photosynthesis, light and dark reactions. Photosynthesis is the biological process that converts light energy from the sun into chemical energy that can be used by plants and other living organisms. This process takes place in two stages, known as the light reactions and the dark reactions, and is essential for the survival of all living beings on Earth. Light reactions. The first stage of photosynthesis, known as the light reactions, takes place in the thylakoid membranes of the chloroplasts in plant cells. The process starts when light photons are absorbed by the pigments in the chloroplasts, primarily chlorophyll. This energy is then transferred to electrons, which become highly excited and are elevated to a higher energy level. The excited electrons are transported through a series of electron acceptors and carriers, known as the electron transport chain. During this process, the energy from the electrons is used to create a proton gradient across the thylakoid membrane, which is used to power the synthesis of ATP, the primary energy currency of living cells. At the same time, water molecules are split into protons, electrons, and oxygen atoms in a process known as photolysis. The electrons produced during photolysis are used to replace the ones lost from the chlorophyll, while the protons contribute to the proton gradient across the thylakoid membrane. The oxygen atoms, meanwhile, combine to form molecular oxygen, which is released into the atmosphere as a byproduct of photosynthesis. Dark reactions. The second stage of photosynthesis, known as the dark reactions or the Calvin cycle, takes place in the stroma of the chloroplasts. During the dark reactions, ATP and NADP produced during the light reactions are used to fix carbon dioxide into organic molecules that can be used by the plant. The dark reactions do not require light, but they do require the products of the light reactions, such as ATP and NADP, to function. The first step of the Calvin cycle is the fixation of carbon dioxide, which is catalyzed by an enzyme known as rubisco. Rubisco combines carbon dioxide with a 5-carbon sugar molecule, creating a 6-carbon molecule that is unstable and quickly breaks down into 2 molecules of PGA, or phosphoglycerate. The PGA molecules are then converted into more complex organic molecules, such as glucose or starch, through a series of chemical reactions. These reactions require the input of energy, which is provided by ATP and NADP produced during the light reactions. The ATP and NADP are used to power a series of chemical reactions that transform the PGA molecules into more complex organic molecules. Some of these molecules are used by the plant for energy and growth, while others are stored in the plant cells as reserves for later use. Summary. In summary, photosynthesis is the process by which plants convert light energy into chemical energy. The process takes place in two stages, known as the light reactions and the dark reactions. During the light reactions, light energy is absorbed by pigments in the chloroplasts, which is used to create a proton gradient across the thylakoid membrane. This gradient is used to power the synthesis of ATP, while water molecules are split to create oxygen and to replenish the electrons lost from the chlorophyll. During the dark reactions, ATP and NADP produced during the light reactions are used to fix carbon dioxide into organic molecules that can be used by the plant for growth and energy. The end result of this process is the production of organic molecules, such as glucose, that can be used by the plant for energy and growth. Importance of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a vital process for the survival of all living beings on our planet. Without it, the Earth's atmosphere would not contain enough oxygen to support life, and plants, which are the primary producers in most ecosystems, would not be able to produce the organic compounds necessary to sustain themselves and other organisms. In addition to producing oxygen and organic molecules, photosynthesis also plays an important role in regulating the Earth's climate. Through photosynthesis, plants are able to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which helps to reduce the amount of this greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. This is especially important today, as the burning of fossil fuels has caused an increase in the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, leading to global warming and climate change. Photosynthesis also contributes to the cycling of nutrients through ecosystems. As plants grow and produce organic compounds through photosynthesis, they become a source of nutrients for other organisms, such as herbivores and decomposers. When these organisms die or excrete waste, the nutrients are returned to the soil, where they can be taken up by plants and used again in the process of photosynthesis. Finally, photosynthesis has important applications in agriculture and industry. Through genetic modification and selective breeding, scientists have been able to develop crops that are more efficient at photosynthesis, which increases their yields and overall productivity. In addition, many industrial processes, such as the production of biofuels, rely on the ability of plants to produce organic compounds through photosynthesis. Through continued research and development, we may be able to further enhance the efficiency of photosynthesis and develop new technologies and innovations that harness its power for the benefit of humankind and the environment. But no matter what the future holds, one thing is certain: photosynthesis will continue to be a fundamental process that shapes the course of life on Earth. As such, it is crucial that we continue to study and understand this process in greater detail, so that we may better appreciate its importance and unlock its full potential for the benefit of all. By promoting sustainable practices, protecting ecosystems, and investing in innovative solutions for food security and renewable energy, we can ensure that photosynthesis remains a powerful force for good in our world. Ultimately, the study of photosynthesis teaches us not only about the science of life, but also about the power of nature and the delicate interplay of living systems that sustain our planet. Through this process, we can learn to appreciate the beauty and complexity of the natural world, while also harnessing its abundance to meet the needs of our growing global population. By working together and striving for a better future, we can ensure that the legacy of photosynthesis endures for generations to come, powering our world and lighting the way towards a brighter tomorrow. Together, we can create a world in which the benefits of photosynthesis are widely known and appreciated, and in which sustainable practices and innovation form the cornerstone of our approach to food security, energy generation, and environmental protection. By studying how photosynthesis works and finding ways to enhance its efficiency and effectiveness, we can unlock new opportunities for scientific advancement and economic growth, while also doing our part to ensure a healthier, more resilient future for all. So let us continue to explore the mysteries of photosynthesis, learn from the wisdom of nature, and work together to create a brighter, more sustainable tomorrow. In doing so, we can build a better world for ourselves and for future generations, one that values the natural systems that sustain us, and that is built on a foundation of scientific understanding. and innovation. As we move forward, it is also important to recognize the challenges that lay ahead, from climate change to food security to environmental degradation. But by embracing the power of photosynthesis and working together to build a more sustainable future, we can overcome these challenges and build a better world for all. In the end, the legacy of photosynthesis is one of beauty, wonder, and innovation. It is a testament to the power of nature to sustain and nourish life, and to the human ability to learn, grow, and innovate. Human evolution and the importance of studying ecosystems and natural resource management. The evolution of human beings is a testament to our ability to adapt and thrive in various environments. Throughout history, humans have relied on the Earth's ecosystems and natural resources for survival and development. However, as our population grows and societal needs increase, it is crucial to understand the importance of studying ecosystems and managing natural resources. This essay explores the significance of studying ecosystems and managing natural resources in the context of human evolution. Understanding our origins. Studying ecosystems and natural resources provides valuable insights into our evolutionary history. By examining the ecological conditions in which our ancestors lived, we can uncover the factors that shaped our biological and cultural evolution. For example, the availability of specific resources, such as plant foods or animal prey, influenced our ancestors' diet and the development of unique physiological traits. Understanding these ecological connections helps us comprehend our roots and the factors that have shaped our species. Ecosystem services. Ecosystems provide a wide array of services that are essential for human well-being. From clean air and water to nutrient cycling and climate regulation, these services are the foundation of our survival and prosperity. By studying ecosystems, we can better comprehend the processes that underpin these services and their interconnectedness. This knowledge is crucial for making informed decisions about resource management and ensuring the long-term sustainability of these services for future generations. Biodiversity conservation. Ecosystems are home to an incredible diversity of plant and animal species, and each plays a unique role in maintaining ecosystem balance. Biodiversity is not only intrinsically valuable but also provides numerous benefits to human societies. For instance, diverse ecosystems are more resilient to disturbances and can better withstand environmental changes. By studying and conserving biodiversity, we can safeguard the resilience and stability of ecosystems, which ultimately supports human well-being. Climate change mitigation and adaptation. Ecosystems play a vital role in mitigating and adapting to climate change. Forests, wetlands, and oceans act as carbon sinks, absorbing and storing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. By understanding the functioning and dynamics of these ecosystems, we can develop strategies to enhance their capacity as carbon sinks and mitigate climate change. Furthermore, ecosystems provide natural buffers against extreme weather events, regulate local climate, and offer habitats for species that may be more resilient to changing conditions. Sustainable resource management. Effective management of natural resources is essential for ensuring their availability for future generations. Studying ecosystems helps us understand the dynamics of resource availability, the impacts of resource extraction, and the potential for sustainable utilization. By employing principles of sustainable resource management, we can strike a balance between meeting current human needs and preserving resources for future generations. Ecosystem-based approaches. Adopting ecosystem-based approaches to resource management ensures the holistic and integrated management of ecosystems and their services. By considering the interconnectedness of ecological processes and human activities, we can make informed decisions that minimize negative impacts on ecosystems and maximize their sustainable use. Ecosystem-based approaches also promote collaboration among stakeholders, including local communities, policymakers, and scientists, fostering a shared understanding and responsibility for resource management. Resilience and adaptability. Studying ecosystems and their responses to environmental changes provides valuable lessons in resilience and adaptability. Ecosystems have evolved diverse strategies to cope with disturbances, such as wildfires, floods, and climate fluctuations. By understanding these adaptive mechanisms, we can apply similar principles to human societies and build resilience in the face of environmental challenges. This includes diversifying resource use, promoting sustainable practices, and fostering innovation and technological advancements. Indigenous knowledge and traditional practices. Indigenous communities have long-standing relationships with ecosystems and possess valuable knowledge and practices that can inform sustainable resource management. Studying and respecting indigenous knowledge systems enhances our understanding of local ecosystems, traditional resource use, and conservation practices. Collaborating with indigenous communities promotes cultural preservation, strengthens local livelihoods, and fosters sustainable management approaches based on a deep understanding of ecosystems. Economic benefits. The study of ecosystems and natural resource management also brings significant economic benefits. Ecosystem-based tourism, such as ecotourism and nature-based recreation, generates revenue and employment opportunities. By preserving and sustainably managing natural resources, we can tap into their economic potential while ensuring their long-term viability. Additionally, sustainable practices in agriculture, forestry, and fisheries can enhance productivity, reduce costs, and create more resilient livelihoods. Food security. Ecosystems and natural resources play a crucial role in global food security. Understanding the interactions between ecosystems, biodiversity, and agriculture can help us develop sustainable farming practices that optimize productivity while minimizing environmental impacts. By studying the resilience and adaptability of natural systems, we can enhance agricultural practices to withstand climate change, water scarcity, and other challenges, ensuring a stable and sufficient food supply for a growing global population. Human health and well-being. Ecosystems provide numerous benefits to human health and well-being. Access to green spaces, parks, and natural environments has been linked to improved mental and physical health. Biodiversity also plays a vital role in pharmaceutical research, with many medicines derived from natural compounds found in plants and other organisms. By preserving ecosystems and understanding their medicinal potential, we can unlock new avenues for healthcare and well-being. Environmental justice and equity. Studying ecosystems and managing natural resources is closely tied to environmental justice and equity. Disadvantaged communities often bear the brunt of environmental degradation and resource depletion. By understanding the impacts of human activities on ecosystems and involving local communities in decision-making processes, we can strive for equitable resource allocation, minimize environmental injustices, and ensure that all individuals have access to clean air, water, and a healthy environment. Education and awareness. Studying ecosystems and natural resource management provides opportunities for education and awareness. By integrating environmental education into school curricula, we can foster a sense of environmental stewardship in future generations. Increased awareness of the importance of ecosystems and natural resources can empower individuals to make informed choices and advocate for sustainable practices, contributing to a more environmentally conscious society. International cooperation and conservation. The study of ecosystems and natural resource management necessitates international cooperation and collaboration. Many ecosystems span multiple countries, and the conservation of migratory species and shared resources requires joint efforts. By working together, countries can establish transboundary conservation areas, share scientific knowledge, and implement policies that promote sustainable resource use. International cooperation is crucial in addressing global environmental challenges, such as climate change and biodiversity loss. Major crops and their role in food production. Crop plants play a fundamental role in food production, providing the foundation for human sustenance and nutrition. Throughout history, humans have cultivated a diverse range of crop species to meet their dietary needs and support agricultural economies. This essay explores the major crop plants and their significant role in food production, highlighting their contributions to global food security and human well-being. Cereal crops. Cereal crops, such as wheat, rice, maize, corn, barley, and oats, are the staple food for a large proportion of the global population. These crops provide essential carbohydrates, proteins, and dietary fiber. They are versatile and can be processed into various forms, including bread, pasta, rice, and breakfast cereals. Cereal crops are widely adaptable to different climates and are grown on a large scale, making them key players in ensuring food security and reducing hunger worldwide. Legume crops. Legume crops, such as soybeans, lentils, chickpeas, and beans, are valuable sources of protein, dietary fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Legumes also have the unique ability to fix atmospheric nitrogen, enriching the soil with this essential nutrient. They are crucial for crop rotation and sustainable farming practices. Legume crops provide nutritious food for humans and livestock and can contribute to soil fertility and ecosystem resilience. Oilseed crops. Oilseed crops, including soybeans, sunflowers, rapeseed, canola, and peanuts, are primarily grown for their oil content. These oils serve as important sources of dietary fats and are used in cooking, food processing, and the production of various consumer goods. Oilseed crops also yield valuable byproducts, such as meal, which is used as animal feed. Their cultivation contributes to both food and non-food sectors, supporting agricultural economies and providing essential nutrients for human health. Root and tuber crops. Root and tuber crops, such as potatoes, sweet potatoes, cassava, and yams, are rich sources of carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals. They are highly versatile and can be consumed in various forms, including boiled, mashed, fried, or processed into flour and starch. Root and tuber crops are important food staples, particularly in regions with challenging growing conditions or limited resources. They have high yields, long storage life, and resilience to pests and diseases, making them valuable for food security and income generation. Fruit and vegetable crops. Fruit and vegetable crops encompass a wide range of species, including tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, apples, bananas, oranges, and many more. These crops are essential for a balanced and nutritious diet, providing vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and dietary fiber. They contribute to the diversity and flavors of culinary traditions worldwide. Fruit and vegetable crops also offer economic opportunities for small-scale farmers, supporting local economies and promoting sustainable farming practices. Cash crops. Cash crops, such as coffee, cocoa, tea, sugarcane, and cotton, have significant economic value and are grown for commercial purposes. While they may not directly contribute to food production, these crops generate income for farmers and support global trade. Cash crops also have sociocultural importance, forming the basis of industries and livelihoods in many regions. However, it is crucial to ensure a balanced approach to agricultural systems, considering the social and environmental impacts of cash crop production. Genetically modified (GM) crops. Genetically modified crops, including genetically engineered soybeans, maize, cotton, and canola, have been developed to enhance traits such as pest resistance, herbicide tolerance, and nutritional content. These crops have sparked debates surrounding their safety, environmental impact, and ethical considerations. While GM crops have the potential to increase productivity and address specific challenges in agriculture, careful regulation and transparent research are necessary to ensure their responsible and sustainable use. Climate-resilient crops. In the face of climate change and its impacts on agriculture, the development and cultivation of climate-resilient crops have become increasingly important. These crops are adapted to withstand extreme weather events, such as droughts, floods, and heat waves. They possess traits that enable them to thrive in challenging conditions, including improved water use efficiency, tolerance to temperature fluctuations, and resistance to pests and diseases. By studying and cultivating climate-resilient crops, we can enhance agricultural productivity, ensure food security, and build resilience in the face of climate-related challenges. Indigenous and traditional crops. Indigenous and traditional crops play a significant role in preserving cultural heritage and supporting local food systems. These crops are often well adapted to local environments and possess unique nutritional profiles. They contribute to the maintenance of agrobiodiversity and provide alternative options for diversified diets. By promoting the cultivation and consumption of indigenous and traditional crops, we can support local communities, foster sustainable agricultural practices, and preserve valuable traditional knowledge. Genetic diversity and crop improvement. Studying and conserving the genetic diversity of crop plants is essential for crop improvement and breeding programs. Genetic diversity provides a pool of traits that can be harnessed to enhance crop performance, increase yields, improve nutritional content, and enhance resilience to biotic and abiotic stresses. By understanding the genetic makeup of crop plants, scientists can develop improved varieties through selective breeding or genetic engineering techniques. This allows for the development of crops that are better adapted to changing environmental conditions and can meet the evolving needs of a growing population. Sustainable farming practices. The cultivation of major crop plants should be accompanied by sustainable farming practices that minimize environmental impact and promote long-term agricultural sustainability. These practices include integrated pest management, soil conservation, water-efficient irrigation techniques, organic farming methods, and the use of renewable energy sources. By adopting sustainable farming practices, we can reduce the reliance on synthetic inputs, protect soil health, conserve water resources, and minimize the negative impacts on biodiversity. And ecosystem services. Food security and global challenges. The cultivation of major crop plants is crucial for achieving global food security in the face of population growth, climate change, and limited arable land. By focusing on sustainable agricultural practices and diversifying crop production, we can enhance food availability, reduce malnutrition, and alleviate poverty. Additionally, supporting small-scale farmers and improving access to markets and resources can contribute to inclusive and resilient food systems. Research and innovation. Continued research and innovation in crop science are essential for addressing emerging challenges and improving agricultural productivity. This includes advancements in breeding techniques, crop physiology, pest and disease management, post-harvest technologies, and precision agriculture. By investing in research and promoting knowledge exchange, we can develop innovative solutions to optimize crop production, enhance resource use efficiency, and address the evolving needs of a changing world. Consumer awareness and sustainable choices. Consumer awareness and responsible choices also play a crucial role in the sustainable production and consumption of major crop plants. By making informed decisions, such as supporting local and organic agriculture, reducing food waste, and promoting sustainable diets, individuals can contribute to the overall sustainability of the food system. Increased consumer demand for sustainably produced crops can incentivize farmers to adopt environmentally friendly practices and promote a shift towards more sustainable agricultural systems.